Hi there, welcome to the Gremlins in your data center, myths, tales, villains and heroes of the mobile age webinar. So, my name is Jack and I aim to have some fun together with you as we brainstorm some of the hot topics those days, but hopefully from a different and interesting angle. The subjects are why mobile security solutions are bound to fail and what is the ultimate green force defender, the hidden genius of Apple's iMessage and the lesson for IT enterprise applications, death and rebirth of the virtual desktop, profits out of thin air, monetizing in cloud, and much more. And hope we get some time for Q&A, but don't worry, you can always contact me via your favorite channel. And before our journey begins, a quick intro. I've been having a blast in the past 30 plus years as a DBA, sysadmin, security expert, IT manager, holistic innovator and influencer, and recently an IT cloud architect. I've been blending leadership, marketing, storytelling, NLP, spirituality, daring vision in innovation to make system work and people grow. You can meet me later on all the social media sites you love by visiting jackbezala.com or itprofessional-mastermind. So, okay, and now on with our story. Episode 1, why mobile security solutions are bound to fail and what is the ultimate green force defender. Several days ago on zdnet.com, there was this note about BYOD, which is bring your own device security problems. Less than 10% of tablets owners use, less of 10% of tablet owners use Autolock. So many, 90% of the iPhones, tablets probably are used in our companies without even being locked, and people can do harm with those devices. Now, of course, this triggered a massive discussion, and soon enough people were pointing to the standard solution, which is to force lock of mobile devices as soon as their owners try to hook to the corporate email and calendar systems. Now, it is amazing how much people rely on this solution, which is to force lock of mobile devices as soon as their owners try to hook to the corporate email and calendar systems. Now, basically, people have been suffering from the same issues on corporate laptops, but now the spread of mobile devices is much greater, and the breadth includes users who have less knowledge in security compared to, laptop owners. Now, the main issue starts when the same devices are used for company tasks and later on for personal tasks, or vice versa, as the case with the bring your own devices. Now, current solutions lack, since they do not usually deal with stuff like applications installed by owners that can get direct access to data or network resources, social media and data sharing or storage applications that let you take corporate data out, Dropbox and stuff like this. And even if Dropbox is disabled when you're at the office, you can still try and use it while off the corporate network. The lack of file system that you can secure, well, in some cases. Rooted devices allow breach of built-in protection mechanisms. Now, and that's just a short list. So how do we survive in this jungle? And before we look at the several options, let's run a quick poll, see if somebody's there. It's the first time I'm running a webinar here, so excuse me if it takes me a bit time. One moment. So, okay, great. Votes. And the first votes are for how much is your office network protected from mobile threats. Okay, so let's start answering if you can. Let's see. Okay, I don't see anybody's voting yet. Yeah, we've got a first vote. Come on. Let's give it 10 more seconds and go on with our story. We've got 2 votes so far. Beautiful. Okay, so 3 votes. Let me continue and I'll stop the voting soon, but let's go on with the possible solutions. So, next slide. Here are the gremlins in your data center that we mentioned. And what can we do? Let me stop the votes. Okay, beautiful. And we'll go back. What can we do? So this is the obvious stuff, and let's look at some other options. The obvious stuff is block network access to any protocols other than those required for email, calendar, and so on. It's not simple since users want to run all applications, plus there may be harmful applications that use legitimate protocols to deliver harmful payload. They could use the exchange protocol to deliver malicious stuff. Next thing, user education. You should tell your users about risks, exposure cases, and their possible risks, the risk those exposure cases raises. So real life examples. Make people care and know they can make a difference. That's important. Keep tips up to 3 main tips that you provide people with to have better security, and so that they can remember. Don't give them 10 pages of rules. Now some new stuff. Social security. That's how I call it. It's about devices that should check each other. So I'm envisioning applications that will run on iPhones, on tablets, and will check other devices that are in the same network to see if they're protected. Crowdsourcing of security resources. So we should have a central location where people can post information about good apps that they like, and applications that may be suspicious, so people can query this resource and know what to do. Mobile honeypots. So regular honeypots are computers set in an insecure manner so that malicious systems can succeed to break into them, and this allows the honeypot operator to gather information about the computers trying to do attacks and the attack methods. Now we need the same for mobile devices, using mobile device emulators, for example, that lets many more devices try to attack them, discovering malicious devices and attack vectors. So another possibility is to expedite threat detection by using big data. So you would run your logs and attack data worldwide, and we should have a mechanism that cleanses those logs as they go out of the companies, cleansing them from any identifiable information, but aggregating them into a big data pool where it can be analyzed much quicker on a global scale, rather than each company try to look at the information and understand what's happening. And this will expedite the discovery of attacks patterns, and it can help us close the gap that we still have, the gap between detection to remediation. And this is a gap that may be the cause for maybe the biggest damages that we have. Because you have a new virus, it takes time until it's detected. Once it's detected, deployment is very quick and you're protected. But the problem is with the time gap between detection and remediation. A bigger pool of information about attacks will allow quicker detection. Creating a standard mobile Secure Me tool that fixes issues such as wireless settings and locks and this stuff. So each company may have its own specific version of this Secure Me application that people can use, and it will make sure the devices are secure. Now, since computing devices have become so powerful, maybe we should look into an option where all mobile data should be encrypted by default. So data will mean nothing even if sent outside of an application on a mobile device. And this might even help solve privacy concerns, as you could set personal data to dissolve over time or be erased by the user who created this content, or by administrator control. And the last option is the day after tomorrow. And yes, it's the end of the world horror movie name. You should assume you are being attacked successfully every day and have a recovery plan. That's obvious, but we still sometimes forget about doing it. Let's go to the next story, and it's about the hidden genius of Apple's iMessage and the lesson for IT enterprise applications. Okay, so this episode can also be called how to stop asking your users jump through hoops to get what they need. It might be demanding, almost like asking a fish risk its life by jumping from its aquarium to another one just to be able to join its friends. And this is sometimes what people feel when they need to operate tools and applications. I like to show you how to do that by looking at a great example. That's Apple's iMessage application. It's one of the most used applications in the world is your phone's SMS bar. The latest version of the iPhone SMS app is called iMessage and might be the most used SMS application across the board. And you might wonder how this would be defined as genius. So to get it, we need to look into similar widespread applications such as WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is a free tool people use for free SMS messages. Now, as Steve Jobs and many others have said, and we have a checklist of Steve Jobs innovation tips available at the blog, you need to have maximum of 2 to 3 clicks that people need to do to get what they want. So it's all about attention and time. People don't have time and they don't have too much attention. And so to get an SMS message using WhatsApp, you need to register, which takes several steps. But let's agree we don't count this. Then you need 4 to 5 clicks at least to be able to send a message. It's far away from the desired 3 clicks. But what if the person is not on WhatsApp? What if WhatsApp is not online or available? Well, you wasted time for nothing in this case. Now, let's look at iMessage. In iMessage, that's just 2 to 3 clicks maximum. You can type a message and send. Yes, both applications can be used in several ways. A number of clicks may vary, but still iMessage wins. And there's more to it. iMessage is free of charge if you send a message to another iPhone owner. You don't need to make sure about your recipient's phone type. If they have an iPhone, then the send button changes from to blue if they're sending to another iPhone user. And if you're sending somebody who doesn't have an iPhone, it changes to green. So your message is sent to the person no matter what, either via the net free of charge or via the mobile carrier. So you as a user don't need to worry how your SMS is being delivered. Now, let's see how this can be applied to enterprise applications. Okay, but first let's look at the innovator's dilemma, because there's this is where enterprise applications gets created. Now note that Apple's goal is to make it simple and serve one main need each time. Enterprise applications in many cases get developed initially with the same innovation in mind. Here is a need, let's fulfill it. Now at this stage the application might be easy to use as iMessage is, but when the innovator succeeds and people use the applications and are willing to pay, both the innovator and customer raise more needs, and the innovator works to fulfill those needs, of course, but in parallel he starts to fear losing focus in parallel he starts to lose focus and simplicity. So now the app resolves 2, 3, 5, 10 problems, and soon enough we have a massive app that can solve many problems. This looks good, but now the user has a new problem we didn't want to have. Users now have to figure out how to get the massive application solve a specific problem they have. So enter the enterprise application arena, where people need IT professionals who need to take 1-week course or self-learning just to be able and get what the application can do. That's frustrating. And then they need to figure out how to solve the specific issues people raise, the users raise. So how can enterprise applications solve problems and still be simple to use as iMessages? Now, you might immediately respond, it can't be done. That's absurd even to raise this wish, and however, if you care about innovation in ease of use, you should care about this. Now, we'll soon talk about few possibilities to start brainstorming this subject, but first let's launch another poll, and this time it's, do you think enterprise applications are simple to use? Okay, the options are sure, no sweat, and then only after you get training and some experience, not really, but hey, what you can do, and then it is a nightmare. Those are the options, and we have 2 votes already. Maybe it's the same people voting. Last time it was 4 votes. Thank you for the votes. Let me continue a bit, and then I'll close the votes. So let's talk about the possibilities. So the first one is telepathy-based wish list. So it's continuously getting feedback from your users about their needs and problems. Okay, you should ask them and document it in a usable way. This first option. Then get support to mark issues by problem type. So when your support desk takes care of a user issue, you can have them tag, write down, mark the issue by problem type, and then put analytics in your enterprise applications and get statistics about how people are using it. And yes, there could be issues about privacy, so that's something to take care of, but you should have analytics in your enterprise applications, especially now that many applications run on the web and are more easy to integrate with analytics. Okay, let me stop the voting and just give you brief information about the previous votings. So how much is your office network protected from mobile threats? It was split 25% for each. 25% said nothing can get in. I'm not worried about mobile threats. 25% said standard stuff they're using to secure their network. 25% said we are trying, but users keep breaking the rules. And then 25% say we don't worry about this. Okay, now the recent vote we had, do you think enterprise applications are simple to use? The results were 33% said sure, no sweat. And 50% said only after you get training and some experience. And 70% said not really, but hey, what can you do? Good stuff. Okay, so let's continue. What else can we do? And let me go forward with the slides. Okay, hope you like the pictures. Manuals on steroid. So your manuals should also include the needs and problems in the user terms, not just how to do stuff in technical terms, but in user problem terms. So you gathered in the telephony, user terms, you can get them by using the previous system of the telepathy-based wish list. So whatever people were wishing or complaining about in their words, you put it into the manual. Okay? So each need, when somebody clicks on their need, on their problem in your manual, it should set the context for your enterprise application to take place. And we'll soon talk about an example. It's called the magic touch. So users can immediately read and then click to get things done. Okay, so the magic touch is all about, and I also call it go with the flow. It's all about turning repeating patterns into wizards. That's being done already, but then shrink them into 2 to 3 click actions by setting the right context, and that's something which is missing in many cases. Let me give you an example. And here is the slide. So, very trivial one. Instead of click on my computer, then manage, and disk manager, and then select the disk, and then start the action of increasing disk by amount, and you still have more steps to go. So instead of going in this route, it should be something like this, where the user types, I need more disk space. And of course, this could be triggered by an automatic mechanism noticing this. But let's say the user says, I need more disk space. The system shows the disk with the disk space issue highlighted and offers an increase amount in percents. The user clicks OK, and that's all. It's 2 clicks and we are done. So systems should intelligently watch, and this is another addition, systems should also intelligently watch user behavior and offer them a shortcut auto-completion, okay? When they start commencing a similar activity. So if systems notice that we are doing a specific task in a similar route, they should, same as offering auto-completion when we type words, they should offer auto-completion when we start doing things. Okay, next item is build to split. Yay, mobile. So what is it about? So consider splitting your application into smaller chunks based on your user needs. So if we go back to the innovator's dilemma, where we start with a simple specific need and we start to spread on and get our app bigger and bigger, if we build it correctly, we could very easily split the big app into smaller chunks based on what we see user actually need and use. So as your application grows, it can spawn smaller versions of itself that can be used by people who need only a specific problem addressed, and this increases simplicity, and it also makes your marketing message much stronger. Now this lends itself to mobile applications and mobile computing because, well, you'll see why in the next topic. So if it looks as if you have to turn your enterprise application upside down, maybe that's because you built it with the solve a problem approach you had in mind, instead of make it simple to solve a problem. Now, don't feel bad about this. All enterprise applications have those issues this way or another. Simply act. Now let's go to episode 3, Death and Rebirth of the Virtual Desktop. And I know we've gone through massive topics very quickly, but as I said, it's just to give a taste, and we can always brainstorm more further down the road on the blog, on future webcasts. Okay, so episode 3, Death and Rebirth of the Virtual Desktop. Sounds dramatic. Now, we have been haunted by this vision for many years. That's what I feel. The virtual desktop had many faces, starting from the screen command, Unix command, which allowed you to detach your command line session through. We had X-based terminals pitched by Sun and Oracle. In those days, we have virtual machine-based solutions. Okay, here's the original virtual desktop on the slideshow. So, just a minute. Let me see if okay, we don't have questions yet. Okay, so it all seems to boil down to few points. The way I see it, it's about. Virtual desktops should be about the mobility of the desktop. It's about lower price, and it's about ease of use. Maybe you have some, other perspectives on this, but that's what we have now. So it looks like we reached the virtual desktop nirvana. We can quickly deploy virtual machines. We can get connected to them from anywhere using amazingly fast networks. Now, I don't think we ever had issues with the server side in the solution, be it mainframe, Unix, Citrix, VMware, whatever. The real challenge was the device people need to use to access the virtual session. Okay? So it was never robust enough. That's my feeling. It never paired with the rich PC desktop. And even nowadays, fat PCs, fat PC hardware cost almost same as a thin desktop, at least good ones. So the price of maintaining a PC also drops in many cases thanks to automation in your operating systems. So why would you buy a thin desktop? And that's why the virtual desktop is dead. But it has also been rebirthed. So, and just a note, laptops has always been there to keep it alive, but they are not the real thing. Here it is. You have it in your pocket now. It is your smartphone and maybe your tablet, if you have big enough pockets, But question is, how should enterprise applications look like on smartphones? How? And many people are struggling on this. Now, let's look at and I think this is one of the reasons I don't see too many enterprise system management tools on the App Store or the Android store. Okay, so let's do some voting, get some feel for what's happening. So this survey is about, do you think virtual desktops are for real? Let's start voting. Last time we had 6 votes. We've gone from 4 votes to 6 votes, and let's see what happens now if you're still there. Let me, here are the options. So do you think virtual desktops are for real? A, sure, we use them all day long. No PCs here. Secondly, we use them where appropriate, not a big deal. And then, it's not really working for us. And the last option is my mobile phone and or tablet are the virtual desktop. Okay, we've got 1 vote. Let me go on with 2 votes. Beautiful. Somebody's listening. Let me go on with the story, and you can have a few more seconds to vote. So firstly, let's ask this question. What don't you like to do on your mobile device. I mean, there are stuff you can do, no problem, and there's stuff you really don't want to do on your mobile device. And I'd say you would not like to start a multiple action task, especially if it involves lots of typing, right? You would not want to find your way through tons of screens, which are part of the regular enterprise system management applications, or just enterprise applications. You don't want to engage in a task that takes more than 30 to 60 seconds because you're on the go. Now, the default approach is let's spray out our current application menus onto the smartphone. Well, maybe reduce them a bit. This will fail. That's what I'm saying. So how does all this tie up to great design of IT and system management and enterprise application as mobile apps? Here is my take, but let's first look at the results of the votes. Okay, we've got 67% say we use them where appropriate, not a big deal. So use virtual desktops where appropriate, that's fine. Great. And 33% say it's not really working for us. Well, that's interesting why. If you could post a comment, that would be nice. Oops. Okay, I almost ended the, the webcast by mistake. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so that's the new virtual desktop, smartphones and tablets. Okay, so let's say, okay, here's my take. Firstly, when you create your your mobile enterprise system management app, don't try and squeeze all your app menus into a tiny screen. Secondly, use the application to deliver specific preset types of alerts or notifications that can be acted upon with just 1 or 2 clicks maximum. So you should use the mobile device as the the device where only specific notifications tailored to the person who's holding this device, only those notifications should arrive to his device for action to be taken upon. Now, another thing is allow quick delegation of an alert or notification to another team member or to the central command station. So you can quickly look at an alert and say, okay, I want to move it, I want to transfer it for somebody else to take care of. Remember, when you're using a mobile device, you're on the go, you don't have too much time. Then another thing is allow flipping through specific status screens showing the most important information, allowing you to click alert if you see a specific worrisome information. So like you have status of your virtual infrastructure and you see something troubling, you should be able to quickly push the alert button and it would have the context of the metric you were looking at, and then it should start and trigger the appropriate remediation actions. Allow a quick share of a great tip or an important alert to other members in your team. So you're on the go, you're doing something, you find a new way to do stuff, you should be able to quickly send a notification to other members in your team. Maybe it's something urgent, so you want to tell them about it. Anyway, those are just a few ideas to get you going, and I'd love to hear from you. What do you like to add to this mix? What do you think about this? Okay, we've gone now to episode 4, which is profits out of thin air, monetizing your cloud. Now, there are many definitions for cloud computing. Most of them are technical. I'd like to look at it from a practical user benefits perspective, okay, not from the technical side. So it looks like the main benefits cloud computing offers are, and especially for internal clouds, firstly is dynamic allocation of resources. You want to get computing resources ready whenever you need them. Secondly is easy sharing of resources. It's specifically important for internal clouds because it allows making the most of the money you spent. Now, the most important factor is not technical specifications. There, you have to deal with them. You need to know what you're buying, what you're using, what to expect from it. But basically, to get the benefits, it's all about the people involved. So it's about the IT professionals, management, procurement team, your suppliers, vendors, partners, and of course, clients and users. Now, cloud computing is all about hooking many pieces together to form what seems as one box that spits resources at you. For each piece in this puzzle, there is someone you need to work with. More on this you can read in the blog post in the blog about server consolidation and the cloud. It is all about the people. So how can you save money or monetize your internal cloud? Let's focus as I said, on internal clouds within your company. But first, a quick poll. I know it's the fourth one. I hope you're not too much tired about this. And let's see. Do you think cloud computing really saves money? Okay. Options are absolutely, yes. Okay. So options are absolutely, yes, if you use it smartly, sometimes, and I don't know. So that's what we have for now. Now, let's look at the options I have here. Firstly, you need to align the availability of all the hardware so you get it, across the different groups you have or divisions. So you get better stability across the board, and hence you save money because you reduce downtime. You can save money by sharing, and we'll talk more about it in a minute. So the more you have to communicate your achievements in terms of time saved, effort saved, opportunities captured, and translate it to money. Because the more you show savings, the more you get more budgets, and you can then optimize your savings better. So I'm not talking about just getting more and more money. I'm saying you need to have the flexibility, and you get the flexibility with the budgets when you show the results. And many times people are not putting time and effort on showing the results. Let me just close the poll. So the results are, do you think cloud computing really saves money? Yes, if you use it smartly. That's 67%. And 33% said sometimes. That's interesting. Okay, let's go. Okay, this is the slide. So, okay, now, getting internal cloud going requires coordination. But then you can break down the division barriers and save more money by integrating needs such as, licenses. You don't need to buy them separately. Storage systems, servers. You don't need to have each division buy them separately. Now this triggers sharing of knowledge. You get more brainstorming, and then you can optimize the use of resources, and you can get lower costs for your spendings. Now aggregating purchases is another phenomena that happens that lets you have better pricing from suppliers. It might seem trivial to you. Say, yeah, sure, if I aggregate purchases, that saves money, of course, but try doing it across teams. Until you have the internal cloud, you don't have enough motivation to get budgets aggregated. And even if you go for the internal cloud, you don't immediately have budgets aggregated. But what you can do is something I call the distributed time-shifted purchase. Okay, so it's a distributed time-shifted purchase. Instead of ordering what you need and waiting sometimes for weeks until you get it, you share the current resources across all groups, and then you buy only once to be able and share again. Now that way people get resources immediately. You don't need to, each division doesn't need to wait until they get approval for their own purchase. And you know, each group buys only few times, so that's why it's distributed. Instead of each time that it needs resources, it buys only few times, because in many cases the other groups buy the storage, the servers, whatever. Okay, so those are the basic items I recalled and could share with you. I'm sure that there is more. I want to thank you for spending this time with me together, and I hope you like this quick journey. We'll be soon publishing the full PDF transcript of this webinar, and I guess you'd like to grab a copy of this. And what you need to do is go to itprofessional-mastermind.com, sign up to the mail notifications there. Okay, so I'm going to close the webcast in a few more seconds. Just give you another chance to send questions. Let's close this webcast. Really, thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me, and I hope to see you soon on the social media sites and maybe here again in Bright Talk. Bye bye.